guys, and welcome to CMJ Live. Happy Thursday. Is it Happy Thursday? Chelsea, is it Happy Thursday? You know what I mean? Like, we've been back and forth so many times. You know, Chelsea's back there. Here, I'm going to do a big shouts out, big plugs out to Chelsea right now. Don't forget to pick up your Toronto Caribbean newspaper because it's her first cover page. Big shouts out to Chelsea. First cover page. Make sure you pick one up. And, you know, she'll autograph it for you. It's her first one. All right? So make sure you pick up the paper. But I have my guest in the studio, and this guest is actually, he's been helping me out with a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my friend CJ. Welcome.
Charles, great being here.
Please introduce yourself.
Absolutely. So my name is CJ Calvert, professional speaker and author of Living an Exceptional Life. And I have the privilege of going across North America, speaking before Fortune 500 companies, and sharing life-changing information. And it's really exciting to be on your show because I know you are such a positive fountain of wisdom and energy. Just watching some of your videos on YouTube, I thought, man, you've got more charisma than two people. And so it's just such a pleasure being here, Charles.
I appreciate it. But let's get to know you first. Because when I first met you, you know, I did some research and I'm thinking, okay, this guy, this gentleman speaks. But not only do you speak, once you put your mind to it, you're going to do it. Like, there's a video out there. I don't know if you guys can find it. He did a challenge for body weight and everything, and he says, I'm going to do it. And man, you went into it. You cut it down. You did it. What you put your mind to, you do. So I was like, okay, I have to meet this gentleman. And then we got talking into, you know, how you can change your life and financial, family. So I loved it. But before we get into that, let's know you.
Sure.
Okay. So give us a little background. What's your ethnic background?
Absolutely. Well, interestingly, looking at some of your videos, you've asked a lot of people if they're from Brampton.
Yeah.
And now, without some irony, I am from Brampton.
There you see, right there,
So,
Bramptonian people.
yes.
I'm bringing you the best of the best. Okay.
So I was literally born at Peel Memorial and grew up until I was 10. By 4, 10, and 7, I grew up in the L section. Lorraine Crescent, went to Birchbank.
Okay.
And I was here in Brampton until I was in grade 5.
Oh, what school did you go to?
Would have been Birchbank.
Oh, okay, okay. Where's Birchbank? See, I'm trying to figure that out now. So Birchbank. What?
South on Dixie.
Ah, okay. See, all the Bramptonians is like, you don't know where that is? I'm like, yeah. Okay, so then after that, where'd you go?
Sure. So bouncing around Mississauga, Oakville, Etobicoke, so living in the west end of the GTA.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about my ethnic background, my grandfather came over from England in 1906 and became a very wealthy and very established gardener. And greenhouses here in Brampton.
Yeah.
And there's actually a park, Calvert Park, off Vauden,
Yes.
literally named for my grandfather.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for real.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my family heritage that we were big into providing flowers anytime the Queen came through.
Yeah.
My great-grandfather and grandfather did all of that.
Nice.
Yeah, so some real roots here in Brampton. But my mother is Barbadian, Bajan.
Okay.
And so grew up and was raised in Barbados. And so I tell people when I meet them, you know, that I'm half Bajan, and they're always surprised because I don't look like I'm from Barbados.
Right.
But no, I'm half Bajan.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's an interesting story, and we don't get to know these stories, and I'm glad you're putting it out there so people get to know you. So, going to school. What did you go to college and university for?
Sure. So going through high school, I very quickly realized that I enjoyed being on stage. So I stood up doing all of the speeches, all of the drama presentations. I was always playing the piano, writing music, and performing on stage. And so I went to school for symphony composition. And I did 1 year of university, and then I got exposed to direct sales and entrepreneurship, and literally quit school on the spot, and dove into direct sales and started building a modestly successful direct sales business in my early 20s. And this opened the door for professional speaking because the industry itself begets motivational speakers. So there's always speakers on stage, and that was kind of the on-ramp for me. And quickly into my 20s, I was standing up on stage in front of hundreds of people at a time. And people would see me in the audience, and a couple of people would approach me and say, could you speak for my company? And eventually I started saying yes to that, and it opened the door to speak for Royal Bank and Microsoft and IBM and General Motors and all the top companies across Canada.
So you knew right from high school that that's what you wanted to do?
Interestingly, no. I knew that I wanted to be on stage right from high school.
Okay.
If you'd asked me in high school, I wanted to do music.
So you want to be in that band and that travel around the world?
Absolutely.
And,
So
okay.
composing symphony music for movies
Yeah.
and film and media. And when I was 18 years old, around 18, 19, I had done a pop rock album of all original compositions that I put in HMV record stores across Toronto.
Okay.
And so I felt like a little bit of a rock star back in high school. But I realized going through the program that the university program wasn't for me,
Right.
and this new path of entrepreneurship and direct sales that opened in front of me when I was 20 was the path that I wanted. I'd never seen a motivational speaker. I don't believe I'd ever been exposed to it.
Right.
But when I went to motivational leadership conferences and I saw these guys speaking on stage, I thought, that is what I want to do.
Yes, okay.
And that's what opened the door for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, we were talking, we talk off camera. You said you saw one person speak.
Yes.
And then you said, that's it. That's where I gotta carry it to. Like, what's the feeling you get when you're on stage?
Great question. When I'm on stage, it's electric. It is elating for me that I get to inspire an audience, when I get them to laugh, to cheer, to think, and to have some profound insights. There's nothing more rewarding outside of family. There's nothing more rewarding for me than to be able to inspire an audience.
Right.
And so I have a lot of fun with that.
So you went from, doing the music and an album at 18, which is great. So, everybody's Googling it right now. They're trying to find it.
They won't be able to find it. It was a cassette tape on HMV, which is now, I think, completely defunct. I don't think there's any HMVs around.
Trust me, somebody, I know Chelsea back there, she'll pull
Some
one.
old high school kids from 95 would have it.
So you move on from there, and then it's a whirlwind life because you're speaking, you're doing different things. I know you have a beautiful wife and a son, so life is great. You're doing everything.
Family life is fantastic.
Right. But then what turned you into going to the next level? So like you said to yourself, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to put this in 100%.
Great question.
Because some people, they know they have it.
Yeah.
You knew you had it.
Yeah.
But you were actually the one that said, I'm going to jump.
Sure.
And go straight in.
That's a great question, Charles. I can't say that a specific event occurred. What I can say is that I have a quality in me that every successful entrepreneur I meet, including yourself, has in spades. And New York Times best-selling authors Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady, who wrote a wonderful book, Launching a Leadership Revolution, arguably one of the best leadership books I've ever read.
Okay.
They defined this quality as hunger. We would typically think of it as ambition or drive for success, but they defined it as hunger.
Okay.
And for as long as I can remember, Charles, I have always wanted to be successful. I've always wanted to accomplish, to create things. And that drive to create, that drive to succeed, I think would be the main separator between people like yourself and a lot of the other people who would like to have their own TV show, like to have their own station, like to be doing events, and really sit their whole life on the couch, never taking action, whereas you're creating this amazing media presence for yourself because you've got that quality as well. You take action.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love the word that you use is the hunger.
Yeah.
Because trying to achieve one thing, you say, if I can do it, but if it's in your belly, if you're you're starving for it, every time you wake up, it's like you're hungry to be successful, to move on. There's a hunger inside of you. But how do you know? Because I see you, you come, we talk off camera, you just know. You know what I mean? Like when it fits right, you just know. How did you know that certain parts to lean forward? And the reason I'm asking that because you're teaching different people, around the world on how to be successful, and then we're going to jump into how to be financially successful. How did you know and say, okay, this is the next path to move over?
Great question. Well, I think, again, going back to Orrin Woodward, one of my favorite authors, and he talked about the fact that you need to have a balance of passion and profits and potential. And the fact that some people have a passion for something they want to do. Maybe they love painting, but maybe it's just a fun hobby, and their skill level, whether it's a combination of natural talent versus the 10,000 hours of mastery to put into practice and actually be world class, maybe they're really not that good, but they like it.
Okay.
And if they can't be good enough to attract success, to attract some sort of revenue, it's only ever going to be a cute hobby. Okay? So you've got to have something that you can actually turn into money. But then there's a whole bunch of people who they might have given up on their goals and dreams, and they have found a safe, secure job, and maybe
Yeah.
they make 50, 100, 150, 200,000, pays the bills, but it's a soulless, soul-draining experience.
Right.
You know, I immediately think of Dunder Mifflin on The Office. You know,
Yeah.
working in a sales department selling boxes
Yeah.
is a soul-destroying experience. You
Yeah.
know, but maybe it pays the bills for those fictional characters.
Right.
So it's got to be something that you're in love with. It's got to be something that can pay the bills, but also that you're making a difference in the world. You know, that you literally have the potential of actually living out your dreams and goals. And if people don't have that combination of the drive
Yeah.
and the natural ability and a way to monetize it,
Right.
they're never going to be successful. So you want to find all of those things.
I like what you said, to leave an impression in the world.
Yeah.
So you're not just doing it every day 9 to 5, because like you said, people are, you know, they're in an office and maybe that's what they like.
Yeah.
But they're working for somebody else, and every day they're just crunching numbers, pass it on, crunching numbers, pass it on.
Yeah.
They're just a number. They're not leaving a legacy for later on, or a hint of anything.
They may not know.
No, but doing it this way, like you said, you're leaving something for the next generation, or your name might be put somewhere, but something is there for you.
Sure.
And I think that's the main thing that everybody wants to do, is leave some type of footprint while we're still here.
Absolutely.
Right?
In fact, if I could share a story,
Yeah.
And bragging a little bit about my brother. So my
Okay.
brother, he had really high IQ, doing great in school, and went off to Queen's University to study mechanical engineering.
Okay.
And found himself 3 years into a 4-year program, very good grades. There's no question about his ability in class. And he found that it just wasn't his passion. And he's sitting in class thinking, this is not for me. Why am I here?
Right.
And so he's asking himself, why am I doing this? And as he would relate the story, he kind of looks up on the wall, and my father's picture was on the wall in
Okay.
the classroom.
Okay.
My father had also gone to Queen's and gotten his
Okay.
degree in mechanical engineering.
Right.
And then he kind of glances up at the teacher, and the teacher is a buddy of my dad. Okay?
Okay.
So this is my brother recounting the story to me.
Yeah.
And it kind of occurs to him, you know, my dad's a mechanical engineer
Right.
from Queens.
Okay.
Here I am taking mechanical engineering from Queens.
Right.
Maybe my dad has inadvertently guided me in this direction
Towards this, yes.
because it's my dad's passion.
Right.
And my dad, I can say, Charles, is an amazing father. He would never say, I'm not going to love you if you don't become a mechanical engineer.
Right.
But there is no question that my brother felt, you know, this would probably make my dad proud if I did this.
Right.
So it really was a lightning rod moment for him. A real
Right.
light bulb goes off and he realizes this is not for me. So he asks himself a very difficult question that probably a lot of people are scared to ask.
Okay.
If I could live the life of my dreams, what would that life look like?
Yes.
Literally, what would the life look like? So he asks himself, well, what are my talents?
Okay.
And then what talent could I monetize to actually create a career?
Right.
And he says, well, my talent, the thing that I've always enjoyed is drawing. He always drew, always sketching, always
doodling, yeah.
sketching. If you'd walked into my brother's room in high school, covering the wall were posters of all the Marvel superheroes with the musculature and the sinew and
Yeah.
and just amazing, just tough guys. And he would always draw that. And then he got exposed to computer graphics.
Okay.
And there's a little show. This is early 90s, mid-90s, called Reboot.
Yes,
From a
yes.
company called Mainframe.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he and I would watch this.
Okay.
And it got in his mind, you know what Craig Calvert, would like to do is computer graphics.
Okay.
So what does a guy do who's 3 years into his engineering degree,
Yeah.
doing great in school, who realizes this isn't for me and I'd really rather be drawing and doing computer graphics?
Yeah.
My brother pulled the trigger and quit Queen's University.
Just like that.
Just like that. And it was probably the summer going to 4th year for him, and he announced to the family, guys, this is not what I want to do. And so he looked at the different computer training options. Sheridan College in Oakville, #1 school. A lot of people for Hollywood and Disney come out of Sheridan College. #2 option was Vancouver Film School. And so he applies and he gets accepted into Vancouver Film School.
Okay.
And it takes a 4-year computer graphics for Hollywood movie degree and compresses it into 10 months.
Wow.
So he goes there, leaves everything, his whole family,
Yeah.
all of his friends, goes to Vancouver, and in 10 months does this. He's at the top of his class. Right down the street from the school is Mainframe, who
Okay.
does Reboot.
Yeah, yeah.
It is his laser-focused goal. I'm going to get hired by Mainframe.
Okay.
You know what, Charles? He doesn't get hired.
No.
No job. And so all of a sudden his dreams feel dashed.
Yeah.
He's upended his whole life to to go after and pursue this dream. The door's been slammed in his face. We got nothing for you, kid. And for the next little while, next couple of weeks and months, he's literally standing on the street corner, part-time job, handing out samples of stuff, just interception marketing, just doing whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? Scraping by, a couple bucks here and there. And then he finally does get a job doing a video game, and then couple doors, he gets hired by Mainframe.
Okay.
And at that time, they were doing another animated show, Transformers Beast Wars.
Yes, I know that one.
And my brother worked on that. And so that opened the door to another company, Rainmaker. And my brother did a television movie called 10.5, which was an earthquake.
Yeah.
And this is now, I'm going to forget the exact year, but 96, 97, around there.
Yeah.
And this movie, 10.5, television movie, Earthquake. And the review in the newspaper was, this movie was so bad, it was a 10.5 out of 100, was the review of his movie, the TV movie. Buddy says, and my brother animated the Golden Gate Bridge swaying and buckling from the earthquake. The reviewer, and it might have been Globe and Mail, the reviewer said, the one redeeming feature of this TV movie was whoever animated that bridge was amazing.
Oh, and that he did.
And my brother did that, and he got nominated for an Emmy for doing that. And so now he's got a picture, he's got his bride on the red carpet of the Emmys as a guy in his 20s. Well, fast forward, he gets hired by this company, Rainmaker, and now he's doing movies like I, Robot. He's doing Tron. He's doing Pacific Rim, RoboCop. They do The Vikings and The Strain here in Toronto. And it's amazing the career that he has created for himself.
All because he realized that
his talent and his passion, his purpose weren't to be an engineer.
Right.
They were to create movies to bring joy and excitement into people's lives. And he is a brilliantly talented guy at it. And I've heard people say, "Oh, you can't be successful." Yeah, tell that to my brother.
Yeah.
You can't be successful in computer graphics.
Right.
He's created this amazing story for himself because he pursued his passion and his potential, and he pursued profits. He combined them all, and he got his life.
Wow, listen, we're going to be right back. But before you go, Beast Wars was one of my favorite cartoons. Okay? My favorite part was the gorilla.
Oh,
he transformed. Yeah, but when he transforms, his whole waist would turn right around and go backwards. And then you had the cat, you know, and then the rat. He was always listen, Google Beast Wars, all right? We'll be right back. We got CJ here. We'll be right back.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
All right, and we're back, and I know a bunch of you started to Google Beast Wars. Just make sure you check it out. Fantastic story because it's all about your passion, and the reason I want to find out about this is leading into, you know, what we're here to talk about, the financial freedom.
Yes.
Okay, diving into it because a lot of us go into different businesses or different things, and we don't put the 110% in,
right,
or we don't put 100% in because we don't know where our financial life is, right? We do things, and we might have that credit card sitting there. We might do different things. We don't know where we stand, and a lot of us can go forward, but we don't because of, you know, okay, this got to be paid, that got to be. How do we do it, right? So talk a little bit more about this amazing tool and what we've brought to our audience.
Absolutely. So I've brought something today for your audience to take a look at. This is the Financial Fitness Program put up by a phenomenal organization, Life Leadership. Okay, so people can, I believe you've posted the link on your website, so people actually click the link to check it out. But it's financialfitnessinfo.com, but the link is actually on your site. So Financial Fitness Program. And the creators of this talk about the fact that we are all in what we call the financial matrix. So again, this is from Warren Woodward, but the financial matrix. And you may remember the movie The Matrix back from 1999. Great action movie. Well, of course, the hero in that movie, Neo, he is trapped in a computer simulation, and he can sense that something is wrong, but the people in the world don't know how to get out. They just kind of feel uneasy that something is wrong. Well, New York Times best-selling author Warren Woodward has kind of appropriated that term, the matrix, and coined his variation, the financial matrix. And so, Charles, you and I, Chelsea, everyone, we are in the financial matrix. And what it means is that we are good or bad at saving money and good or bad at making money. So if you can picture a 2x2 matrix. So somebody who is not good at saving money and not good at making money is broke. This is a bad spot to be. This is where you're getting the utilities cut off. This is where the eviction notice. This is where the fridge is bare and you've got ketchup packets in there. You know, there's just nothing. You're just, how do I even find food for my family this week? And that is a very tough spot to be. That can be because of traumatic situations, loss of income. Stuff happens. We all get hit by waves and crisis in life. And it can be a tough spot for anyone to go through. And that we want to help people start to navigate towards changing their finances. So the next stage, a little bit better, is somebody who is very good at saving money, but they're not really great at making money. And this would be a tightwad. So this is somebody who coupon clips, who counts every penny, who gets the best savings, and they might be making a modest, reasonable income, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, not rich or anything, but modest income. But they are really good at saving. So this is the person who they will, you know, if laundry detergent is on sale, that's when they buy it. Like, they look for the savings. If gasoline is a couple cents down, they'll line up for an hour to get gasoline.
Saving,
Okay, just anything. They will water down their milk. Like, they will eat ramen noodles. It's they're going to shop at GT Boutique. You know, my buddy shops at Great Giant Tiger, so he calls it GT Boutique. And I used to say Target, you know, but not in Canada anymore. But anyway, so just anything to save. And what's amazing, a story about my dad. My dad is one of the best money managers in the world in terms of personal financial responsibility. Super responsible, very disciplined, very organized. And as a young guy, when I was probably junior high, I really didn't respect that. I think that's kind of a father-son thing. You know, you look at your dad, you think, oh, come on, my dad's being an old guy, doing old guy stuff. And I even kind of made fun of him that he would really save his money and watch his budget and track every penny. You could ask my dad, what did you spend on in February 2nd of 1993, and he's got it written down. Decades of Quicken and Excel spreadsheets. Well, it's amazing, as soon as I turned 20, every successive year from 20 to 21 to 22, 23, my father got smarter, Charles. It was an amazing thing. Every year, my dad started getting... I'm like, Dad, I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. You just seem to be improving every year. And, of course, the running joke is my dad hadn't changed at all.
You changed.
I started recognizing how smart my dad was, right? But he's been really good at this stuff for a while. So a tightwad is somebody who saves all of their money. They're very, very good at looking and shopping for the deals. But here's the challenge, Charles. The benefit, they'll get to retirement, and they will have their mortgage paid off, Visa cards paid off, all the debts are gone, decades of money, tons of savings, hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million in cash savings. But the downside of that, Charles, they didn't get to live. They had to say no to everything. No to going on the vacation. No to going to the movies at the movie theater. No to Biggie sizing their fries. No to everything. Just constantly saying no. And what that does is the person kind of has to give up on their dreams. So they might have debt freedom, but they're in dream bondage. And so maybe they've got a goal of going to Hawaii. Well, that's great, but you don't really want to go to Hawaii when you're 87 years old and get on the surfboard with a walker. That's not fun. You want to go in the prime of your life and live your dreams, but somebody who's a tightwad, they have to say no to all of their dreams so that they can be debt-free. Man, that's not fun. So you know what people do to escape that?
What?
They go into the status category. The status category is somebody who's really good at making money, but boy, they do not save money.
Oh.
And so this might be a six-figure income earner. They might be a doctor, lawyer, real estate salesman, home contractor, renovations, and they're making really good money.
But they gotta have the car.
They gotta have the...
Okay, I get it.
Exactly. So they've got the nice BMW or Mercedes, but they're paying their $800 a month lease.
Okay.
They got the nice 4,000 square foot home, but they are paying this ridiculous mortgage payment. And they're going on vacations all the time, but they're throwing it on the Visa card.
Gotcha.
And they're going to the nice restaurant all the time, but they're eating out and blowing their cash. And that's, I guess, fine that they're having this nice lifestyle, but the problem, Charles, is what happens if they have a car accident? What happens if they're injured? What happens if the economy goes sideways and a real estate agent, the market just isn't there and they can't make a sale?
Right.
I took my little guy to a Marvel movie, Doctor Strange. So I don't know if you like this. Yeah, I love the Marvel movies, right?
Yeah.
And so, take him to Doctor Strange, and if you remember the movie, this guy was a very wealthy, successful surgeon.
Right.
And he was driving his Lamborghini, and he's got this beautiful home decked out with all sorts of beautiful luxury art and furniture, and he's driving his Lamborghini, which I want a Lamborghini. He's driving his Lamborghini, and he crashes the Lamborghini.
Right.
Wakes up in the hospital, he's had emergency surgery, and to his horror, his hands are shattered. All these pins and rods, but his hands are his source of income.
Right.
So his hands are shaking. He can't do surgery anymore.
Right. He was a top surgeon, and now
Done.
Done.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's status. Because you fast forward a little bit into the movie, the car's gone.
Yep.
His apartment, his luxury home, empty. He's had to sell furniture just to purchase food.
Right.
That's status when you have an accident. Okay.
Okay.
What we want to talk about. And the status person, just before I get to this, the status person, they've said yes to their dreams, but they've done it on credit. Yes to the luxury vacation in Hawaii on a credit card. Yes to the luxury car on a lease payment. Yes to the fancy restaurant on their Visa.
Right.
Yes, 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 yes. Designer clothes, the wife's hair and nails are done to the nines, the kids have got the design, all this.
Yeah.
They've said yes to everything, but now they've got debt bondage.
Okay.
So they've got dream freedom, but debt bondage. What we want to do is we want to teach people how to be financially free.
Okay.
Which means they've got their dreams and they're debt-free. So imagine this for all your viewers who are watching the program, who are going to watch this again on YouTube, that imagine if somebody could literally pay off all of their debt, just their debt.
No more credit cards.
No credit card.
Yep.
No mortgage payment. No car payment. No student loans. Just debt-free. What a transformative experience, life-changing step forward that would be. Just get rid of the debt.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not going to go through all the statistics, but it's pretty bad out there.
Yes.
Right here in Ontario, this would have been July of 2015. The Financial Post, through the National Post, Financial Post noted that Ontario, our province of Ontario, is the #1 most indebted province on Earth.
Wow.
So it's the #1 most indebted sub-national government. So from a country one step down, so a state in the United States or a province in Canada, it's the #1 most indebted province anywhere in the world. Anywhere in North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Russia, Africa, it doesn't matter. We are #1.
We like our credit cards.
Just the province, not even the people. Just the province of Ontario, the government of Ontario.
Okay.
Just our provincial debt, July of 2015 was $315 billion. Wow. $315 billion, just provincial debt. Well, the #2 most indebted subnational government in the world at that time is California. California had around $160 billion. But the thing is, California's got 3 times as many people, Charles.
Right.
So for every $1,000 that an adult in California has to pay off the state debt, every adult in Ontario has to pay $6,000 to pay off the state debt.
Wow.
So we are in a culture that teaches people to get into debt.
Right.
Every advertisement on TV, every bank, every car loan company, everyone, people don't even talk about what the car costs. There's no advertisement that says what the car costs. It's, what's your weekly payment?
Yes.
What's your every 2-week payment?
Right.
Just make the payments.
Right.
That's the culture that we live in. So what happens, because all of the advertisements, all the information is get into debt,
Right.
man, The university kid gets his credit card and he starts spending. And all of a sudden, student debt, credit card debt, gets his first house, gets the first car, done. He is in debt bondage. She is in debt bondage. And this is a scary place to be. So I want all your viewers to ask themselves this question. If you could walk into your job tomorrow and you could ask your boss, hey boss, could I get a $2,000 a month raise? That's probably the reaction, right? Boss would say, that's phenomenal. In fact, while we're on the subject, I'm going to give you a unicorn and a Knight Rider car from the 80s,
right?
And, a magic wand, because you're kidding me. Get out of my office.
Right.
Well, we know that that's not likely to happen. Some people, yes, will get a $2,000 a month raise today.
Yeah.
But statistically, the average North American is not getting a $24,000 cash raise this year. They're not going to.
Right.
And the boss is going to laugh them out of the office. However, here's why I named the number 2,000. The average North American, the average person in Ontario, if they were to add up the monthly payments that they pay to manage their debt, their mortgage, their car payment, their visa, their student loan, if they add those up, and your viewers can just kind of mentally do it right now, they have a sense of what they pay.
Yeah.
Well, the average hovers between $1,500 a month and $2,200 a month of cash payments every month being poured down the drain of the financial matrix. Gone. Just in debt, servicing debt.
Right.
So if a person can get rid of their debt, they're not likely to get a $2,000 cash raise. But if they can get rid of paying the debt payments, if they can eliminate their debt,
right,
mathematically, Charles, that's the same as if they got a $2,000 a month raise.
Exactly.
If they can eliminate the debt payments and they're paying $2,000, that's the same as getting a raise. Well, they don't necessarily have the ability to get a raise. Some do, but not all. But every single person has the opportunity to take the wisdom that you've put this link on your website, take the wisdom in the Financial Fitness Pack, and go through the Financial Fitness program, actually learning about offense and defense and playing field, applying it to their personal finances, and blowing away their debt.
Okay. Before we move on to that, we're going to take a quick break, but I want you guys to come back because this is the meat of the discussion. How do we get out of debt? How do we live that life? Because just listening to you, I'm just calculating myself. I don't know about Chelsea. How much money do we spend on the credit card payment, paying back school loans, paying off this person? If we can get all that back, we'd be 10 times ahead.
Absolutely.
We're going to dive into that right back. You're watching CMJ Live. We'll be right back.
Discover the incredible India.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Hey guys, and welcome back to this special edition of Bang Financial Free. And we were just talking off camera, and I'm like, people think, oh, I'm in so much money debt, I can't get out, or they give up. And I was just saying that in my situation, I just found out because, I've been on the program, and I found out a couple of weeks now, I've been keeping a track now of what I'm spending, and realize you do have extra money.
Yes.
If you cut out some of what you're doing.
Yes.
Like, do you need that Tim Hortons coffee every morning?
It's absolutely true.
Do you need to go eat lunch every day?
Right.
I'm not saying don't get the Tim Hortons coffee, but do it as a treat.
Right.
So, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, go for your treat, save up. It's a little bit here and there. Yeah. And I've only learned all this by helping me because of this program.
Absolutely.
So let's dive into the program.
Sure. So the financial fitness program, people can go on the website link you've provided.
Yeah.
And it's got a workbook, textbook, and 8 CDs that literally guide people, there you go, guide people through the information on the offense, defense, and playing field. There's the CDs. The offense, defense, and playing field of personal finances. Okay? And so the first thing for people to do is make a decision that they want something to change.
Right.
To recognize that whatever they're doing right now is not really working. And the best way to do that is just say, hey, listen, just ask yourself an honest question. Am I better ahead this year, 2017, than I was last year? Or am I, like most North Americans, a little more in debt, a little more exhausted, a year older, and there's no clear path out of this scenario? Okay? Probably a lot of people watching this, if they were honest with themselves, would say, my finances have not really gotten a little bit better. I feel like I'm treading water in the Pacific Ocean with no land in sight.
Right.
No path out, no solution. And to your point, that can be debilitating. It's just almost defeating, where we see, man, there's no hope. Why bother try? And that's why people go get the credit card and they splurge and they get into debt bondage, because they want to taste that dream a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the key to the financial fitness program is to understand this first principle. And this is almost what you would consider a controversial thought, or a challenging thought that most people, when they hear it the first time, they say, that's not true. But if you think about it, it is true. And here's the first principle. Your money problems will not be solved with more money.
No.
Will not be solved with more money. Now, anytime I or any of my business partners say that, you know the look that I get from people, they're like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, because
of course.
They're thinking, if I have more money, I can put it on top and it's all good.
Exactly. That is the thought.
Right.
And we have this fantasy, if I could win the lottery, if I could get a raise, if I could get an inheritance, if I could get, a car accident, a lawsuit, or some terrible thing, I'd get this patch of money, it would solve my problems. No, it would not.
Okay.
And there's 2 obvious ways. As soon as we think this through, we know it's not true. The first one is, no matter what income anybody makes, so if somebody's making $40,000, they say, Charles, if I could just get a little extra money, if I could just make $50,000, then I would be able to solve all of my financial problems.
Right.
Except, you turn around and you talk to somebody making $50,000. They say, Charles, if I could just make $70,000, solve all my problems.
Right.
Ask somebody making $70,000 if I could just make $100,000. Somebody making $100,000 if I could just make $150,000. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter. Whatever the amount of income, whoever we're talking to, the issue is not the amount that they make.
Right.
The issue is that they spend more than they make.
They're not calculating what's coming in and out.
Exactly.
So when the person makes that $50,000, they'll probably be good for about a year, maybe a year and a half.
Maybe.
But if they didn't change their ways,
who they are
and their spending and what they're doing, that money's just going to run out.
Absolutely, because they'll do the same habits
over and over again.
So the analogy that I use to help it make sense for people is, imagine that you live in a bachelor apartment. So you're just out of university, you've got a 1-room bachelor apartment, and it's a pigsty. Like, it's just a pigsty. And you say to me, CJ, the reason that my bachelor apartment is a pigsty is because there's not enough space.
Okay.
If I could just win the space lottery and have 2 rooms, 3 rooms, 4 times as much space, then it would be neat and tidy. The issue is, no, it would not.
No.
Because the person is messy.
Right.
They will just have the mess expand
into the other rooms.
Right. They have to learn to be tidy with the space they've got. And no matter how many rooms, it'll just keep expanding.
Just keep going.
Exactly.
Right. Learn to let go, because a lot of times they have all this stuff they don't need.
No.
So if they learn to let some of it go, there's more room.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's the first thing to understand, is getting more money will not solve your financial problems. You can even take it to the extreme and say, CJ, if I could win the lottery, if I could be like a Hollywood movie star and make $1 million, $2 million, $5 million a year, man, then I'd really be good. Nope, absolutely not. Because we've heard story after story. You can Google story after story of the people that win the lottery.
And in 2 years' time,
they're broke.
Yep.
Okay, so if anyone doubts this, just Google it.
Yeah.
Just Google any lottery winner, millionaire lottery winner, broke after 2 years, 3 years. Why? because the same bad habits that
Of
they
the
were
spending,
broke at
right.
when they were making $50,000, they're going to take those bad habits when they got $5 million.
Right.
And they'll buy houses and cars and vacations and blow the cash.
Right, right.
The bad habits have to change.
Okay.
So that's the first thing to understand. And you can even look at movie stars. I read Johnny Depp, who had done all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and he was making so much money. The money management company that takes care of his finances wrote him a letter. Johnny, you have to stop spending.
Right.
You are spending yourself out of your wealth. His personal spending, if I'd have to take this with a grain of salt, I got to double check the number, but by memory, I think it was $2 million a month that he was spending. He would buy a wine vineyard and another property and this and that.
Yeah.
And just $2 million a month on his lifestyle.
Okay.
And you'd think, well, how would anyone get that crazy? You know, they'd say, man, if I had $2 million a month, I'd be responsible. Well,
Right.
nope. You can ask a broke person living in what we would consider poverty from another country, and they look at our lifestyle here in Ontario.
Right.
We are rich
Right.
compared to the rest of the world. So what we have to change is not the amount of money we have coming in, though yes, that would benefit,
Right.
but it's only going to benefit when we think right about money.
Understanding the value of the dollar.
Exactly.
Right.
So the key to getting your finances in order, the first key is getting better information.
Okay.
That's why this information is working. Okay. So reading books on finances, listening to CDs on finances, and associating with people who are very good at managing money.
Right, and that's why, sorry to cut you
No,
though,
please.
but this is why I love this part,
Yes.
okay? I don't have time, okay? This book, you know, everybody knows me, I'm running around doing events and shows, but this is right here. And that's what I loved about it. I thought, okay, I don't have time, you know, I'm thinking, you know, if you really want to get things changed, you got to do it, you got to read the books like you're saying. But what they've done is they've put it all on CDs.
Yeah.
So when I get into my car, I pop a CD in. CD 1 teaches you the first thing about how money came,
Right.
how we became dollars, and you know how gold came in, how
Yes.
we use gold and how we use money. And then you go into CD 2 about learning about what is the money, how loans came about,
Yes.
how to share loans, one of the funny stories is the guy talked about leasing.
Yeah.
You know, is it okay to lease? Why not to lease? And like he's teaching you all this stuff. And after CD after CD, you're gaining more knowledge on where your money's going, how to spend your money, and what I like about the CDs, he tells you straight.
Yeah, it's right to the point.
He tells you straight. Listen, do you have to be that sunshine boy that everybody can see, or do you want to be that longevity boy 2 years from now? And he said something that made me listen. You know, I have an older car. You know what I mean? The difference is it's paid.
Right.
It's mine.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't have to do no monthly payments. It's mine. And he talked about that on the CD. Is like, do you want to save more money, or do you want to be like the rest of your friends and go get a new car, but be paying that $300 a month, or be satisfied that it's getting you from point A to point B, and be satisfied with that and save that $300 and pay off all your debts.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it comes within you. So this is why I love that it came with the CDs.
Yes.
You listen to a CD, it's not hard, and then you learn.
Yeah.
But then also, when he's saying, okay, you know, write down what you spend, I'm thinking, I don't got time to do no graphics. You know what I mean? Because in the CDs it says, okay, jot down your life. Take 1 month, you and your partner, or if you're by yourself, and say, okay, you know, what do we spend average on food? What do we spend, you know, how much is it? I'm thinking, I don't got time to go Google a chart or anything. But then you guys, there's a
Right there.
workbook in the side. And in the workbook, word for word, it actually helps you, and it gives you a diagram on this side and how to copy it on this side, how to help your financial step by step and see where your money's going.
Yes.
And when I started doing it, you know, we started writing in the book, my wife and I were tracking all my money. Somewhere, some form, at the end, I realized I got about $1,000 floating somewhere.
Yes.
But I never knew I had that
money
money.
floating around.
There's always money floating around, but until I did the program, I didn't know I had this money.
Right.
So it came down to, what am I going to do? Do I stop doing this? You know, we sat and we had this talk that now it's time to tighten the belts.
Yes.
And the funny thing is never too late. Never too late to tighten the belt and learn more about it. So I found out that this and the CDs is actually helping me in my own business.
Yes.
Because I'm not using it just for home principle. I started using it for my business principle. Because a lot of friends out there have their own business and they're like, okay, I get a client, I make this money, but then I gotta pay it back out. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, why are you in business? You know what I mean? Because all you're doing is you're waking up, you go to a client, you make the money, push it back out. Wake up, but then someone told me that's not a true entrepreneur. A true entrepreneur is someone that can wake up and go, I don't want to go to work today. You know, it's working, you know.
You've got freedom.
I got freedom.
Yeah.
Today I'm going to go meet CJ. Let's go for a round of golf.
Absolutely.
And then do it off. So when people say, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, are you truly a real entrepreneur? Which I'm learning. I could be wrong. Right?
No, you've got so much entrepreneurial wisdom and instinct already.
Right. So
it's a huge conversation, though.
Right, because you have to build your business so that you're not going in every day. Here's the difference, what I learned. The difference between an entrepreneur and working 9 to 5, the only difference is you're your own boss or you have a boss. But when you work a 9 to 5 job and it gives you your paycheck, you come home and you send it to bills, you send it to this, you send it to that.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're an entrepreneur, if you're not doing it successful, you're doing the same thing. You get a great client, he pays you, but then you're like, wait, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that, I gotta pay this. So in either or, you're not a true entrepreneur until you can say, it's working for me.
Sure.
Right? And we're gonna take a quick break, but when I come back, I want you to tell the story about what we talked about McDonald's.
Sure.
Okay? That's how you understand if you're a true entrepreneur
Absolutely.
or you're not working and not. We'll be right back. This is a special edition of Financial Freedom because I want to help you be financial free. We'll be right back.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV Network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Hey guys, and we're back, and we were off camera, heated into this discussion about being financially free, and we just got talking. So before we move on, please reintroduce yourself.
Sure. So CJ Calvert, author of Living an Exceptional Life and professional speaker to Fortune 500 companies. And I'm here today sharing some information with a product that my partners and I market, the Financial Fitness Program, talking about the offense, defense, and playing field of personal finances.
Right, and then we were talking about how do you know to get out of debt, how to be financial free, and I know we said we're going to talk about something, but I want to make sure that everybody gets this point. Why I dived into this and to change my life and my future, my wife's life, and my whole family's life. Everybody knows I have a son with sickle cell disease, right? And I'm thinking, why do I do this? Right. And the funny thing is, we have discussions, and you have to know the why factor.
Right.
Why do you get up? Why do you go out and work so hard? Why do you get up to make this money? And my why is my family. My son, so I can spend more time with him at home. If he goes to the doctor, I'm not worried about bills. I can take time off to be with him if he's, in the hospital or whatever. Yeah. What is your why? People have to understand, what is the why? Why do you do what you have to do Monday to Friday, get up out of bed, and go to work?
Right.
But if you're not passionate about it, and this is why we started off with, the passion in you to change your life, why do it, right? So it's funny enough, I wanted to talk to you about the funny story of McDonald's that we talked about, but let's dive into the tax part you mentioned.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't realize, which I do this year, that the taxes, you know what I mean? Like when we don't think about where our money goes.
Right.
Talk about a little bit about that.
Sure, absolutely. So this never got taught to me in school. And in Canada, really any Western nation, there are two totally separate tax codes. One for people who have a job and one for people who own a business.
Right.
And so the basic idea, to keep it super simple, is when you have a job, whatever amount of money you get paid, the government takes the taxes, your income tax, off of your paycheck before you ever see the money, and hands you what's left.
Right.
However, when you are a business owner, you collect all of the money, spend whatever you need to spend to invest back into your business for legitimate legal tax write-offs.
Right.
And all of that money gets deducted from your income. Whatever is left after you've spent everything you need to spend and invest into your business, reinvesting back in your business, what's left you pay taxes on.
Right.
Okay? So using super round numbers, let's say you've got a person that's making $100,000 and let's say they get taxed at 50%. And let's say you've got another guy who's a self-employed entrepreneur making $100,000, but he's got $50,000 of tax deductions. Well, the employee is going to lose $50,000 in taxes. But the tax rate for somebody at $50,000 isn't 50%. It's around 30%. Double check the numbers. I don't have this memorized. But let's call it 30%. So the actual money that the self-employed entrepreneur would pay in taxes is $15,000, not $50,000.
Right.
The best example, though, and this is actually in the financial fitness program, is let's say you had, and you've heard the example of a penny that doubles each day. After 30 days, it's actually $1 million.
Right.
$10 million on day 31. Well, let's say it's $1. So on day number 1, you've got $1. And let's say the dollar doubles each day.
Right.
Okay, so not a penny, but $1. After the 20th day, it's about $1 million. Okay, so $1 million and change. Well, what happens, though, if you get taxed 35%?
Right.
Okay, so here's the numbers. You start with $1, and by day 20 of it doubling, as an entrepreneur, you have $1 million with no taxes, okay?
Right.
An employee taxed at 35 cents on the dollar. On day 20, they would only have $27,000.
Right.
That's what taxes do to your long-term investment ability. It is just crushing to have all of this money roar out of your bank account that you never even see.
Right.
And employees don't even notice it because it comes off the paycheck.
Exactly.
So if I were to ask people, any of your viewers, what is the number one biggest single expense that you pay out each month, the one item on your budget that is the most amount of money? Most people, Charles, would answer, well, my mortgage, my rent, that is
Mortgage,
the one
rent,
item.
Visa card, and keep going down.
Yeah,
right.
for sure, exactly. But the biggest one is the mortgage is what they would answer.
Right.
And in reality, Charles, that's not the answer. The number one biggest expense for all of your viewers is their taxes.
Wow.
Their taxes are their biggest expense. So any wealth creation strategy is going to include, or should include, a strategy on how to legally reduce your taxable income.
Okay.
And the fastest, simplest way for anyone in Western civilization to reduce their taxable income, certainly here in Ontario, is own a business.
There you go.
Own something.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a business that markets books and CDs. It could be a hair salon. It could be a web design company. It could be, lawn mowing. Anything. Just some sort of a business.
Right.
Accounting services. It could be a fitness trainer that goes to people's houses. Any sort of a business with legitimate tax write-offs. And if a person hears this, and whether they get the financial fitness program or they just start reading from the library, if a person hears this message today and they do not go out tomorrow and get a business, any business, they may as well just go to the bank machine, take $500 out every paycheck,
and just hand it over.
take a lighter, light it on fire, and toss it down the gutter.
Okay.
Because it's the same thing.
Okay.
They're throwing money away by not owning a business. It's crazy, but this doesn't get taught in schools, Charles.
No.
It doesn't get taught in schools.
I learned it afterwards, and then I learned most of it from the book.
Yeah.
Because
That's where I learned it.
Yeah, the book is teaching you step by step. Okay, this is where it is. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'll just go to work and I'll work more overtime. Okay,
It's taxed.
It's taxed.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'll work more money, more overtime, but then they don't realize they keep going to another bracket.
Right.
So now they're going to another bracket, and then what happens? It's more taxed
Absolutely.
again.
And in fact, on this point, people, when they look at purchasing something, let's say they want to buy something that's $100.
Right.
Well, if they're taxed at a 50% rate, that's not $100.
No.
It's $200.
Right.
They want to buy some gadget at the store, they pay twice as much because they're paying for it with their after-tax dollars.
Oh,
but they never think about that.
I get that what you're saying, because you said, okay, so just do by numbers.
Yeah.
So I made $150 at work,
Okay.
per se, but the tax came and took $50 away. Okay, so I go to get electronics, and the electronics is $150, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually paying more because the
Paying
first
like $225.
$225 because the first tax came out of my pay,
Right.
so I don't have that extra $50 to put into what I'm buying,
Mm-hmm.
and then the tax again came out,
Yeah.
so I'm actually paying more for what the value of the
Oh,
product
yeah.
I'm actually buying.
It's heartbreaking.
Oh,
It's
my
heartbreaking.
goodness.
I'll tell you another one. When people get a house, all of their friends and family, the culture is get a house.
Right.
Get a house, okay? Well, banks are in business to sell debt.
Okay.
The product that they sell is debt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And a lot of my speaking clients are banks. And
Okay.
they've got great people working there. I honor all the managers and the leaders working there, but
Right.
the product of a bank is to sell debt.
Okay.
So when you buy a house,
Yeah.
25, 30-year mortgage, what people don't realize is if they simply mathematically doubled their monthly payment,
Right.
they wouldn't cut the time to pay off the mortgage in half by doubling it.
Right.
They would take a 25, 30-year mortgage by doubling the payment and bring it down to 6 years if they just started doubling their payments. Well, where do they get the money to double their payments?
Right.
Well, let's go back to what they're paying for their car payment,
Okay.
for their Visa card,
Car,
student
yeah.
loans, all the consumer debt. What people need to do is, it can be very overwhelming. As soon as we start talking about stuff like this, many people feel so overwhelmed they
Yes.
just want to put the blinders on, like the ostrich, bury the head in the sand,
Yeah.
and not look at it. It is not that overwhelming to do.
No.
Because if you can just start making very small changes,
Mm-hmm.
it's just, instead of buying the $1.50 cup of coffee, could you buy the 70-cent cup of coffee? Like the little coffee.
Right.
Could you start making little tiny changes that add up over time?
Right.
Little tiny changes over time will compound and create massive changes in your life.
Right.
So this doesn't have to be an arduous, horrible, painful
No.
experience.
It can start small,
Yeah.
and gain from there.
Absolutely.
So if you're a person that always goes out for lunch,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch.
Yeah. Pack a
'Cause
lunch.
That's $7. I'm doing it. I'm averaging. Okay, you go to a burger joint, you spend $12, but then that's 12 times 5 because there's 5 days in a week.
And then that's $240 at the end of the month.
Exactly.
Plus, it's after tax money, so
Right.
it's actually $320 a month.
Right. So if you took that $320 a month,
Yeah.
you could actually put that back onto your Visa
Yeah.
and clear that Visa.
Blow it away.
Blow it away. Okay. And then when your Visa's gone, you take that $375 that's actually bonus money now,
And you apply it to the next one.
and you apply it to the
It
next
snowballs.
one, and it just keep knocking off the next one off the next one, and then that's the main thing.
Absolutely.
Because the main thing that we keep saying is, and we titled it this on the show, is financial freedom.
Yeah.
How can you be financial free? And the main thing is people don't understand is, think about it. I give you $1,000, right? I give $1,000 to anybody right now.
Right.
What would they do with it?
Oh, they would have an answer right away.
Right.
But it probably wouldn't be an answer for their financial freedom.
Exactly. They say, oh, I was looking at this new laptop, I was looking at this, but nobody actually thinks, I take this $1,000 and go put it on my Visa,
Right.
or I owe this bank, or I put something on layaway that I need to pay off. They don't think of that first.
No.
You got to get your mindset in it, first of all.
For sure.
And this,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, this is why, and this is why I'm saying, this helped me to get it right, because it breaks it down. Okay, take some time, go through it. It's phenomenal. It's something breaks down. Sorry, you were gonna say.
No, absolutely. So we've had so many people go through the program that the partners have actually put together a catalog or a profiles of success of people who have taken this information and applied it to their own debt situation. So this is our Financial Fitness Times, and it is filled with story after story of people who have just using this information paid off their debt. $26,000 paid off, $80,000 paid off, $282,000 paid off. The best story, this gentleman, this family, paid off $3.2 million in debt. Wow. Using this information. So it's just amazing. And what's amazing about these stories, they did not get raises. People always think, I've got to get a raise, I've got to get more money to solve my problem. No, all of these stories came from just applying this information and starting to make little tiny changes that compounded. Okay? In my own personal life, I've got a couple here in Brampton that in 18 months of time paid off $53,000 of personal debt. In 18 months.
Right.
And most people would think, well, how is that even possible? Just using this information. I live in Ajax today, and a buddy of mine down the street in Pickering paid off $76,000 or $77,000 in 8 months. But the very best story is a friend of mine who's a high school teacher. And just using this information, no raise, no winning the lottery, none of that, this story shocked me.
Right.
In 1 year, in 12 months, Charles, just using this green box, just using the financial fitness program, applying the principles, in 1 year, this high school teacher reduced his debt by $425,000 in 1 year.
Wow.
And when I didn't even believe him when he said that. I thought, are you sure? He showed it to me. I'm like, son of a gun, that's true. In 1 year, this guy paid off $425,000.
I do believe it because I'm happy to say one of my credit cards is gone.
Hey, nice job.
So I know it works because is this time and place, and it's one of it's gone. But before we go, we're gonna be right back. This is what I gotta say to everybody. Right now, time's running out, but right now, we go and spend money, on the restaurant. We might go look at the new headphones and go, hey, I go spend that. Why not take the chance and spend it on the green box?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's it going to hurt? You can spend money right now. You're going to go spend it on putting more debt on your Visa card. So if you're going to spend more debt, why don't you spend something that's actually going to help you alleviate the debt?
Absolutely.
And get the green box.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's a link on the show. Make sure you check it out. Click it. It gives you more about it. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick break and come right back.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Hey guys, you might be wondering why we're back. No, we got so in talking. I didn't give the CJ a chance to do what we do best on CMJ Live. But before we go, one more time, get the green box. You know what I mean? I'm always here trying to help everybody. I bring inspirational speakers on. I bring people how to get out of, start their life different.
Yeah.
But the best way I'm realizing now to start your life different is not about starting the business, about, get to know yourself first.
Yeah.
Get the business and then learn how to survive the business with your financial freedom.
Absolutely.
So here it is. Get it. It's something right there. I posted a link. Chelsea's #1 on there. The link is on there. Click it. It'll bring you to the green box. Read on it. Learn about it. Get out of debt. Live your life. Here's the one story I want to leave you with before I get CJ to talk about it. On a post I put down, if you can spend time with somebody and you give them $1,000 or ask them, would you want $1,000 or spend 24 hours with me? What would they choose? Think about it really carefully. You think that person, your son, your daughter, your wife, would rather take the money or spend quality time with you? Because you never know what might happen the next day. Time is so precious. We are all running around crazy. We don't spend enough time with our brothers, our sisters, our mom, or dad, because we're always go, go, go. But if we had financial freedom, you could spend as much time as you want. Go on trips. Go on little vacations. Go to Canada's Wonderland because you have the time and the money. Get the green box.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And I'll say to this, with tax and shipping comes out to be about $200, and the company has a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Okay.
So any of your viewers who are sort of sitting on the fence thinking, should I take the plunge? To your point, there are people in line at Best Buy right now,
Yep.
Or any number of stores right now who are lined up with $200 of stuff.
Yeah.
And the $200 of stuff will never change their life.
No.
It's just stuff. And they are not hesitating to take out their credit card
and pay for
put it down and buy stuff. Okay?
Right.
And what we're suggesting is, why don't you take the information in the financial fitness program out for a test drive,
Right.
actually get the green box, read through the book, go through all the CDs, and if you don't believe that this information is life-changing information that will actually benefit you and bless you and your family, well, 29 days from now, just click a link and send it back and get your money back. So you cannot lose anything. But here's what I would say. That $200, this box is worth its physical weight in gold for the blessing it will be for your family. Because just imagine, fast forward a year, 2-3 years from now, you are completely debt-free, all consumer debt gone, your mortgage gone, car payment gone, the weight that would be lifted off of your viewers' shoulders. And so what we're suggesting is give it a try, take it out for a test drive for yourself, and it'll be the best $200 investment you have ever made.
I know it was for me, because, you know, we spend it out going out, and I said to my wife, let's dive into it, let's spend it, and see what happens.
Absolutely.
And it's been great. Listen, you're on CMJ Live. We got to go. It's your time to do your shout-out. Thank everybody. You know, you're live. Let's go.
Well, I'm going to shout out to my wife, Shannon, my son, Braden. I love you guys more than anything. That's my shout out.
Oh, my God. Chelsea, we had a short shout-out. That's a record right there. You know what I mean? That's the shortest shout-out I've ever had on CMJ Live. CJ, it's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Guys, I'm here to help you. Hit the link. We'll be right back. See you tomorrow.